The Year to There podcast, it's time to start the show. Be sure to hold on tight, here we go. Exploring all the different Disney destinations. Year to There, it's time to start the fun.
Hello everybody and welcome to the Year to There podcast, Walt Disney World Word of the Week. So each week I will bring you an all new Walt Disney World word and then give you all kinds of stuff, history, background, tips, tricks, hints about that Walt Disney World word. So keep your hands, your feet, your everything inside the car at all times. Let's get started. This week's word of the week is brought to you by the letter R. R, not for pirate, but for riverboat. Yep, this week I'll be talking all about the riverboats in the Disney parks, the history, and what you can expect going forward from the riverboats these days. So like so many other attractions that are in the Magic Kingdom, the Liberty Square Riverboat in the Magic Kingdom that runs along the rivers of America has its roots back in Disneyland. So a steamboat was always intended to be part of the Disneyland experience, going all the way back to when Walt Disney first imagined his Mickey Mouse theme park across the street from the studios in Burbank. Now the original Mark Twain Riverboat made its maiden voyage on July 13th, 1955, 4 days before Disneyland opened. This voyage was to kick off the wedding anniversary and private party for Walt Disney and Lillian Disney's 30th anniversary. And before that party even started, Admiral Joe Fowler, who was the Disneyland construction manager and also a former Navy admiral, was checking on everything to make sure that the Mark Twain was ready to go, and he actually found Lillian Disney with a broom on the deck sweeping up the Mark Twain. So he actually helped her out. So on her 30th anniversary, right before the park was about to open, Lillian Disney could be found actually cleaning the Mark Twain Riverboat. That's kind of a fun story. So believe it or not, when the Mark Twain first opened to park guests, there was a bit of a problem. See, Disneyland cast members allowed up to 600 people to get on the Mark Twain Riverboat. And as it was making its way around the rivers of America, it got stuck in the mud, and all those people had to be evacuated. I mean, honestly, stuck in the mud isn't really a bad thing. When I did the Word of the Week episode for the letter K, it was keel for the Mike Fink keel boats, and you might remember that the story went, well, I'm not going to spoil it for you, but let's just say Disneyland has had a history of issues with watercraft and some problems on the high seas of the rivers of America. So ever since then, for the last 61 years of its existence, the Mark Twain has had a capacity of only 300 guests. Now, when Walt Disney World was opened in 1971, of course, the idea of the riverboat was brought over to the Magic Kingdom with it as well. So originally, Walt Disney World actually had two working steamboats. The first one was actually named after Admiral Joe Fowler and was named, not very creatively, the Admiral Joe Fowler. And the other one was named after Richard F. Irvine, who was a WED executive back in the days before it was called Walt Disney Imagineering. And again, a very creative name. They named it the Richard F. Irvine, as you probably could have guessed. Now, the Admiral Joe Fowler actually was on the rivers of America from October 2nd, the day after Walt Disney World opened, until the fall of 1980, when they actually had it in dry dock for repairs, and it fell from a crane in the dry dock and was destroyed. So they never replaced that one. The Admiral Joe Fowler was never replaced. But the Richard F. Irvine came into service on May 20th, 1973, and in 1996, it was renamed the Liberty Bell. Now, here's a really cool trivia question for you. See if you can answer it. I'll give you a second. Do you know which boats are now called the Admiral Joe Fowler and the Richard F. Irvine? I'll give you a minute. No rush. It's just my podcast. Okay, so the answer is the two ferry boats that take you back and forth from the Ticket and Transportation Center to the Magic Kingdom are called the Richard F. Irvine and the Admiral Joe Fowler. They were originally the Magic Kingdom 1 and the Magic Kingdom 2, but were renamed in the 90s after the Liberty Bell got its new name. Now, I have to say, if you don't ride the Liberty Square Riverboat when you're there in the Magic Kingdom, or if it's been a while, I really think you should give this attraction a shot on your next trip. I think I've said it on this podcast before, but if you're like an amateur photographer like I am, bring your camera. You can get great views of Tom Sawyer Island, of the Haunted Mansion, of Big Thunder Mountain Railroad that you won't get from walking around the park. Especially if you get up on that top deck of the Liberty Bell, you'll have some awesome sight lines and a view that you would never have of any of those attractions anywhere else. And it's also a really cool, really relaxing attraction. You kind of sit there, you mosey on down the rivers of America. You listen to the spiel that comes over the speakers about Mark Twain and early America. It's a very cool experience. So I think, really, if you haven't done it in a while, do it next time on your Magic Kingdom trip. I don't think you'll be disappointed. So now you might be saying to yourself, hey, Phil, you said you would tell us what's going to happen with the Riverboat in the future. Guess what, guys? I intend to do that right now. So the date of this podcast coming out is November 30th, 2016. Now, yesterday marked the beginning of an all-new experience that you can have on the Liberty Square Riverboat. So starting on November 29th, 2016 and this is a mouthful, so let me take a breath before I say it. The all-new Tiana's Riverboat Party Ice Cream Social and Parade Viewing at the Magic Kingdom. See, I told you it was a lot. So for this experience, actually before you dock on the boat, you get a chance to have ice cream and some drinks while you're hanging out with Princess Tiana and Prince Naveen, which is really cool. You don't really see those characters much in the parks. I know Tiana has had that dedicated spot in Liberty Square for a few years now, and now she's meeting over at Princess Fairy Tale Hall. But Prince Naveen is kind of a tough guy to find, so that's pretty cool that you can do that. And then you board the boat and you cruise around Tom Sawyer Island during the Festival of Fantasy Parade at the Magic Kingdom. And then after the Festival of Fantasy Parade is over and the cruise is over, Tiana and Prince Naveen actually meet again with guests for photographs. For photographs? What am I, a photographer? Old-time photos at the mall? Step this way, sir. Have your photograph taken. I don't know. That's terrible. But anyway, yeah. So they will meet for pictures after the cruise is over. So how much does this experience cost, you may ask? Thank you for asking. Okay, so it's $49 per adult and $29 for a child under 9 years old. That includes tax. And if you want to make those reservations, you can contact me, of course, or you can go through Walt Disney World and make those reservations with Walt Disney World yourself. So look for, and again, I'm going to take a deep breath, Tiana's Riverboat Party Ice Cream Social and Parade Viewing starting on November 29th, 2016. And that is going to do it for this week's Walt Disney World Word of the Week. Thank you so much for listening, as always. These are a lot of fun. I hope you really are enjoying these episodes that I'm putting out. And if you are, please just tell someone about it. You can always share these on your favorite social media sites. I'm all over Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest. Just search for Phil from Ear to There Travel. And on my website, eartotheretravel.com, anything I put up there is very, very shareable. There's a whole bunch of buttons on the left-hand side. You can just click your favorite social media platform. It makes it really super easy to share it. So again, thank you guys so much for listening. And remember, there will be a new Walt Disney World Word of the Week episode each and every Wednesday morning, as well as a new episode of the Ear to There podcast each and every Monday morning. So thanks again. Until next time, have a great week. Bye-bye.